Howdy, friends and floorheads, and welcome back to the world of eternal lies. Last time, our investigators may not have destroyed the gigantic mouth that lurked under Mexico City, but they killed the cult's leaders and buried the thing beneath a ton of rubble. Uh, with the remaining cultists scattering like rats, and news of a mysterious book being delivered to Sal's girlfriend Bianca, our heroes decided to return to Chicago, and now they should have time to recover from their wounds, physical and mental, and plan their next move. But the agents of the liar from beyond are unlikely to be standing still. Elsewhere, we see a tiny elderly Asian woman tottering through the halls of a decrepit mansion. Her eyes are milky white, and she shows no sign of noticing the broken furniture or moldy wallpaper that she passes, or the stained and torn clothing that she wears. She hums quietly to herself, a simple old melody in a cracking voice. Eventually, her steps bring her to the door of a massive library where she strains to push open one of the heavy double doors. Inside, massive bookshelves cover every inch of wall space, and still more books are piled in stacks that reach waist high in some corners of the room. There's a rough circle of desks and tables roughly in the middle of the room, each covered with tomes, journals, notes, and drawings amid a dozen or more candles. And inside that circle, a young Asian woman of perhaps 30 moves from table to desk, perusing one document and comparing it to another. The old woman calls out in a foreign language, and the subtitles say, "Savitri, I am going to make soup. Will you eat tonight?" Without looking up, the younger woman answers, "No, grandmother, I'm working. You eat." As the old woman turns and shuffles away, we hear a snarling, spitting noise in the library like an angry cat. The young woman doesn't look up from her books, but absently caresses her left forearm, where a fanged mouth hisses and snarls through a break in her skin. Let's roll the opening credits.
What's really funny to me about when Brian does his little solo bit at the very beginning is the all of us can see each other on our our video share, even though you can just see Brian, and the four of us are just sitting here going, no, no, as Brian's reading.
Oh, come on. You signed up for the Cthulhu campaign. I'm going to give you a Cthulhu campaign.
All right, the show is yours, my friend.
All righty. Well, as mentioned, our crew is making their way back north from Mexico City to Chicago. It's probably a couple days of driving. You'll cross the border in East Texas, probably still sleep that night in Texas, then go maybe to Memphis and up to Chicago. What happens during that trip? I mean, you've got a couple days sitting in the car. It sounds like Sal and Alice are probably trading off driving shifts. Um, what's it like? I mean, long road trips, everybody reacts to those differently. There are people who really enjoy it, and there are people who go a little bit stir crazy. So how are folks reacting to a couple days straight of driving?
I think James is very still, quiet, um, pleasant, right? So I wouldn't ignore conversations, but I wouldn't do nothing to continue them. But I would participate. Um, very introspective, um, but still is the only word I can think of for me.
Okay.
The doctor is unusually quiet. Usually during the cars that he's been in with all of you, he'll have his moments of quiet and then suddenly start speaking and not stop for a good while. He doesn't really have any of those at the moment. He's quite used to being on these long trips, having gone from, New York to Germany, then back again, Austria, then back again. So he kind of just seems to be sinking back into the seat a bit, becoming a part of it almost.
I think Alice at one point, I think Alice and Sal get into a bit of an argument about what the radio station should be on. Are we listening?
Gotta be jazz. Gotta be jazz.
Gotta be jazz. And that leads to a heated argument, which is ultimately settled that the driver gets to choose, which has led to Alice also insisting that she gets a turn at the wheel. And so that has led to at least us swapping and then switching the radio to a station that the other one does not really appreciate. Alice does not really appreciate jazz, so I think Alice is looking for some more classical music or that type of thing, or for the news.
Maybe some opera. Yeah,
maybe some opera every now and then. And I imagine,
Oh, God, you're killing me.
Yeah, and I'm if she's been driving long enough and it's late, she might actually try and sing a bit, but Alice cannot sing. So, and that I'd say that's about that time you hear from the back seat. It's like, it's Sal's turn now.
I love it.
Also, at
Aren't
least
you tired?
At least one time while the two of you are switching seats, Adrian has just gone and quickly flipped to a different station while you two have been switching the seats.
Get about 10 seconds of something different.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think you may have invented the driver picks rule.
Yeah.
This group right here.
Go to Wikipedia. It was around this time.
All right, Sal, how about you?
Sal's actually he's pretty much himself. When he's driving, he's focused. Happy to converse and whatnot, but definitely focused on the road. When he's not driving, he's in whatever position within the car. He's cutting up, telling jokes. You see him studying the atlas, and he's like, we really should turn here, especially when Alice is driving. And if anybody asks him about that, he says, "Well, I'm pretty sure that we lose the radio signal."
Nice. So Al is more or less the life of the party as we head north, and a couple days. There's probably a little tension between the music and the cooped up and everything else, but these people have also been together long enough and been through enough things that I don't think there's any serious difficulties that come up.
So stop me if you heard this one.
Only 8 times. So it's probably the evening of Wednesday, July 31st, when you arrive back into the greater Chicago metropolitan area. So I guess, are we just dropping everybody off at their respective homes, and then whoever's driving takes the car with them? I think sounds good.
Yeah,
all right. Who do we think gets dropped off first?
I think probably Alice. She lives not in the city center, a bit out in a it's a fairly nice area. A small house in a row of houses, to ground floor and one floor above, brownstone house, and there's a little garden up front, but there's nothing in the garden. The garden's dead. And otherwise, she just she gets out of the passenger seat, and looks at the others, and says, "Well, we meet up in a couple days." Okay.
Don't be afraid to come around if you want before that.
I'll be fine.
So are folks like exchanging addresses, phone numbers, that sort of thing? Okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. So Alice, you pick up your bag and head inside. anything in particular you're planning to do this evening? It's probably a little bit late to be calling anyone, but
Alice drops her bag in the hallway, gets heads over to have a shower, and then she makes the bed. The bed is as she left it, which is military corners, especially just as she left it. But she changes the sheets, and then after a shower, gets in and goes to sleep. Doesn't unpack anything.
fair enough. That's a thing for tomorrow. All right, who next do we think is going home, and what do we see? I'm guessing Sal's going to be last because he's driving at this point.
Yeah, I think maybe drop me off. I live downtown, third floor apartment, fourth floor apartment, so a bit of a walk up. I come home and my place looks really empty. Somehow it's more empty than when I left it, and it was empty then.
Mhm.
Everything in my really tiny apartment is functional. I have a fridge full of condiments, right? But not much else. And I'm exhausted, but somehow I end up spending just a couple hours sitting on the side of my bed and just sitting, which after driving for days like that, you would think, no. And then I go rote at that point. Take off my clothes, take a shower, put on some sleeping pants, and just slide into my little twin metal bed.
Yeah. Even after over a month away, there's not even that much mail waiting for you. Just the whole
No.
thing feels a little bit sad.
Yeah. It there's a part of me that realizes how much the three of you have become for me. And I don't think I fully realize it until I get home.
Yeah, this may be the first time you've been alone
Yeah.
for a while. How about Dr. Adrian? Where do we see when they're dropped off?
Well, they don't ask to be dropped off at their place. They ask first to be dropped off at their office, which is more in the mid-city.
Mhm.
Mostly because they want to go up and see if Helen and her kid are doing all right before he goes back home.
Okay. When you get there, the office itself is much as you left it. Nothing unusual seems to have happened. It sounds, from what you can hear as you start taking some steps upstairs to check on Helen, it sounds like she has some company. So there's a little quiet music playing, and you can hear some conversation going on.
She sounds all right.
Yeah, no, she doesn't sound
Okay.
troubled at all.
Oh, good. Then he won't bother. Just wants to make sure she's all good.
All right, makes sense.
He'll take the walk then back to his place. It's very small and very quaint. It has a few little trinkets here and there. It's not really empty like James's, but it's so small because all of their money has gone elsewhere essentially, that it's just the simplest thing that they could find. They try to still make it feel like home, but they're really happy with it just being a place they go to in between work.
Okay. Anything particular you do this evening, or just get some rest?
They're not really good at staying still, so I imagine they are just kind of going around their apartment at first in detective mode, seeing like, oh, is anything left for me, just because they can't quite get out of that mindset just yet. They can't really for the entirety of the night, so they just do a lot of reading and writing down notes until eventually they realize that, oh, they really should try to get some rest eventually, and they manage to get their shoes off. Finish that much.
Fair enough. And Sal, alone in the car, gets to take himself home.
Yep. Sal lives on the near north side, as you know, mobsters did, at least of that particular mafia group.
Mhm.
Pulls in front of his house. It's an old brownstone. It's got just from the outside, it looks lived in. It's certainly not new, not in great shape, but it's his. He goes in there, drops his bags off. I think he's going to first. He's going to shower first, absolutely.
Sure. Seems good.
And then he will. What day is it?
It's a Wednesday evening.
Okay, so what time of day is it?
Probably around 8 o'clock by the time you get home, PM.
Okay, so he is going to. Um, I think he will. Well, he knows Bianca's on tonight in
Mhm.
the nightclub, but he's going to forego that for the evening. He goes and he'll dust the house when he gets in and just sort of clean up
Mhm.
after he gets out of the shower, and then he's going to take his weapons,
Mhm.
lay them out, and just clean them and clean them and clean them. And then sometime in the morning, he'll roll them back into their particular pouches that he's got them in, and call it a night.
All right. Makes perfect sense. So most of you sleep well. There's certainly a few odd dreams, nothing that really, stands out in your memory or anything. It's just you've been through a lot and it's a little unsettling from a mental standpoint. Um, Alice, at one point in the middle of the night, you're not sure exactly when it is, um, you wake up, just kind of one of those things where it's like suddenly your eyes are open. It's not like you heard a noise or anything. And, the room is dark, obviously. And in the doorway of your bedroom, you can see just barely in the dim light that's coming in from outside, there is a figure standing there, just a shadowy silhouette. And from the way they're sort of leaning against the door frame, somehow you know without seeing any more details that it's James. Not Craig's James, your James.
I lie there just looking, and then I think I smile and I reach out my hand and say, "Are you coming to bed?"
So in the little moment you have there, your eyes start adjusting to the dimness and picking out little things alike, and you can see that it looks at first like his face is almost glittering in the starlight, and then after a moment you realize that what it is tiny little shards of broken windshield
Oh my God!
in his face. And he says in a sort of rough voice, like he hasn't used it in a long time, "I can't stay."
Don't go. Don't leave me now.
"I can't stay," he says again.
Don't go.
I need you to know Bangkok is going to be very, very bad. You can't turn on each other there. You have to stick together. You might not all make it out, but you've got to stick together.
It can't be as bad as Nice. It can't be. You'll come back?
If I can.
I'll be here. I'll get you back.
I know, he says. I know you will.
And then I think Alice just closes her eyes and Just like it falls back to sleep.
Okay. The one thing that's a little odd in the morning when you wake up, you kind of are starting the day and starting to take into account some of the things that haven't been done in the month you've been away. In the doorway of your room on the floor, there's a tiny bit of broken glass.
I think Alice picks that up and holds it that tightly that she actually cuts herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then she looks for a medallion. She puts that in there and she swaps out the dog tags that she always carries with her. She puts those away. It's got the medallion. And then she spends the rest of the morning cleaning the entire house from top to bottom.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Putting everything in its place. And while she's doing that, she takes out all her old army gear. And she's putting that together as well.
Okay. I like it. What does the morning bring for the rest of you? Anybody have something they want to do or accomplish?
I think I'm just going to be busy. Finding the building soup, writing him like a check for 6 months worth of rent, and just saying, "Hey, work's having me going back out of town again. If you can just keep an eye on the place for me." It might be a few months.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I never mind you paying ahead.
Nope. No. Yeah. I just no, nobody's allowed in. So if anybody ever says anything, I don't care what their story is. Just my place is going to be empty until I get back.
All right. I mean, if there's like a burst pipe or something, I might need to bring somebody in, but I'm not gonna.
No.
I'm not gonna let nobody into your apartment. I don't do that.
And I know you wouldn't. I just I appreciate it, friend. I appreciate it.
And he looks like it occurs to him to ask if there's any trouble, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I have the don't ask me face on.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm gonna go to the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a block from my place. I know they open at 10. I could have walked in at 10:01 and do something dumb like keep myself busy, go to a corner store and buy a newspaper or something, just so I'm not there at 10:01, because somehow in my mind, if I get there at 10:30, it's different.
Right. Yeah. That means you're not an alcoholic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you're not the first one there, but and this is a place where you're a regular, I assume.
It is. Yeah. They recognize me immediately.
So yeah, I'm sure they know your preferred drink, and haven't mixed up and on the bar. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Work's been a lot. Been real busy. But when I finish, don't fill me back right up. I'll let you know. You're real good about making sure that I never see the bottom of this glass, but I need to see the bottom of it a few times today. So I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure. He says, let me know. And you've certainly been in here enough times that Eddie, who is the main bartender during the day. He's a good listener if you want to talk. He doesn't pry, but he's a good sounding board if you do decide you want to talk about stuff. So, but he is content to let you be there with your thoughts unless you want to start anything.
I think maybe at one point I asked him for an update on the baseball. I've got the box scores, of course, in the paper.
Yeah. Well, season hasn't really started yet. It's still summer. Spring training's going on.
Oh, right. So
no, wait. I'm sorry. I don't watch baseball. I'm trying to remember.
No. We'd be playing.
Oh yeah, the boys of summer. Yeah. The Cubs are actually doing really well this year. Sox not so much.
Yeah,
but But yeah, I mean, he's happy to talk about inconsequential stuff, giving you a rundown on the neighborhood. Old man Jenkins finally kicked off, and his wife's already taken up with the pool boy or the gardener or whatever. So he'll be happy to distract you with local minutia.
Yeah, and I think I go through spurts of wanting to kick off a conversation with Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe 5 minutes into it, I shut back down again.
Okay.
I don't seem to be able to sustain that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just go right back to just staring at my drink.
Yeah. And he's very, he's kind of there for whatever you've got.
Yep.
He's, yeah, I mean,
There's a reason this is my place.
exactly. You don't know that you'd actually call him a friend. I mean, you don't even know
Yep.
his last name, but he's a guy who is there for you, and well, we'll leave you alone if you need to be left alone. How about Adrian or Sal? What's going on this fine summer morning, first day of August?
Sal's gonna get up, and he's gonna get up, get some breakfast at him. I think he's gonna put around the house, do some more cleaning, try to just get back into the routine of living here for however brief it is.
Mm-hmm.
There is almost a certain centering, that comes over him when he falls back into routine.
Yeah, you're doing laundry for probably the first time in a month.
Right, right. And then about 10:30, he's going to go to the church.
Okay.
And he's going to go in and immediately go into the confessional.
Okay. Father, no, it wouldn't be O'Brien, not in the Italian neighborhood. Father Maldini, well, you don't technically know who it is, but you know who it is.
Right. Yeah.
It's
our little secret.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You both know. And he says, and basically opens the door and waits for you to begin.
Father, it's been 5 weeks since my last confession. And then he confesses everything, every single life that he has taken during this last 5 weeks, everything that is absolutely against the Roman Catholic, creed, every single thing. And it's as he progresses, it gets more and more intense. Like he's literally trying to scour his soul from all the things that he has done in the past weeks, all the things that he has seen that he can't comprehend, just trying to make sense out of the chaos that's kind of spinning around him this last 5 weeks.
Okay. And so you are talking about these, unnatural, impossible things you've seen?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think that Father Maldini would have been absolutely. I mean, he would have been there for his mother when Sal went on, found his mother all carved up and went on that, and then certainly when Sal found Uncle Vinny dead and carved up as well.
So, when Sal finally kind of winds down after all of this, there's kind of a long pause from the other side of the screen. And he says, my son, I know you have had a hard life, and God has put many burdens on you because you're strong enough to bear them. I'm worried that do you really believe that you've seen all these things?
He pauses for a minute as if, collecting his thoughts, and he says, absolutely. These are things that I've seen with my own eyes. the screams of people that I've heard with my own ears. I don't, Father, understand the designs of God, nor the designs of Satan. I am just a pawn. I'm just merely mortal. But there is something further out there that just it doesn't make sense, Father. It doesn't make sense. Um, the things that I've seen in the past 5 weeks, I don't know. It's I know my soul is uh, regardless of what I say to you, what I say before God. I'm not going to heaven. I think
There
I've
is
done
no
too
sin
much.
so great that it cannot be forgiven. And the fact that you're here today shows that you want to do right by God. It's not our place to determine or know what his purposes are or why these horrible things happen. And I would tell you, if I could, that you should put your weapons down and live a life of peace, but I don't think that you're ready to do that. So
Sal nods and says, "Someday, Father, someday."
may it be soon. And he
That-
sounds like he doesn't really know what else to say, so he gives you a substantial number of Our Fathers and Hail Marys.
Yep, yep.
And says that perhaps you should try to come back more often when you can, but he understands that you're doing what you think you need to do.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Mm.
Okay, you get 3 stability back.
Nice.
Because I get the sense that despite everything, Sal is a true believer,
Mm-hmm.
and this is
Yes.
this is a weight off your chest. And how about Adrian?
Adrian has a lot they plan to do. The first thing they do upon waking up is they take out a small notebook and start drafting a telegram to send to Janet explaining everything that's going on, the fact that we're about to not only leave the country but leave the continent. Takes a few tries to get it right, but it's gonna come back to it. Puts a little just note down to finish it later. And they have a lot of things that they kind of want to do. They want to go to the library. They want to go speak to anyone they think they can get any more information from. But before any of that, they go out and look for either Sal or James. They start trying to. They go to the. He goes to the bars and sees if he can find them. Either one of them first.
I mean, you know about where James lives, so I think it's not difficult. You may make a couple stops, but it's not long before you come to the place where James is sitting at the bar, or maybe a table. I don't know what James' preference is.
I'd be at the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll intentionally try to approach very quietly.
Never sneak up on a jumpy man with a gun. I'm just saying.
Well, that's what he's doing. That's the thing. That's
And
what
what's
he's
the
doing.
stability at right now?
Well, they're just gonna test. This is a litmus test, yeah.
Okay.
If he can't handle this, maybe he should just stay in Chicago. And then we'll just sit down next to him.
Yeah, and it takes a half second. So I see you in my periphery, and I'm not really turning my head. I just know someone has sat next to me. I'm a little pissed, honestly, because like there's a lot of empty seats at this bar. I'm not looking for company. So I turn and maybe I was going to say something smart, and you see the shocked look on my face.
You know, For an ex-cop, you're really easy to follow.
Yeah. It's good to see you, Doc. Sorry, I don't know why, but on the long list of people that would sit next to me, I didn't see you. And that's not bad. It's okay. Eddie, what do you want? Are you thirsty?
Eddie? Oh, no. My Austrian friends tried to get me into day drinking. It never worked out.
Eddie, can we get some water or something? So I kind of flag him down.
Yeah, sure. And he kind of looks over the two of you and gives you a look like, "Is this okay?" And okay.
give him
So
the-
I'm holding him here against his will, just so you know.
I actually laugh. I chuckle.
fair enough. He puts up a couple waters. Let me know if you need a refill, Jim.
And
he
as
heads off
he
the
gets
other
out
end of
of
the bar.
as he gets out of earshot, I don't think I'm waiting for you to say something. As soon as Eddie is out of earshot, I don't make eye contact with you. I still look at my drink and I just go, I don't think I'm okay.
He just nods his head. He has a pack of cigarettes, offers you one if you want.
I do, even though you've never seen me smoke. No, you have.
We
Actually,
haven't
I
seen
think
you
I
smoke.
stopped.
We've seen you offer to
Yeah.
somebody at the asylum.
Yeah.
We
I
never
think
seen you
that-
smoke. You've always had them on you.
Yeah, and I think that until you offer me that cigarette, I don't realize that I had quit.
The only time you might have was the cigar
Yeah.
from De La
Yeah.
Vega.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that initial haven't smoked in weeks kind of reaction. But Doc, she was pregnant, Doc.
I know.
And I saw that before I knew what I was shooting. She was fucking pregnant.
I know. Lights cigarettes. I haven't exactly been in the kind of situations all of you have been. You, Sal, Alice. Like I said, my job's usually to help after being in the middle of a tense situation, living in tense situations. I've never known what it's like to be behind the trigger.
You find places to put it. You have to do things, and you do them. I imagine Sal's the same way. You find a place and you just kind of put it there, and you close it up. And I've been trying to put this away, and I can't. I don't have a place to put this, and I just cannot stop thinking about it. And I saw what she was, and I know we couldn't let her keep going. But I can't find. I don't know where to put it.
Sometimes the only solace we can take is the fact that we feel like the worst person alive after something happens. A lot of people don't. Do you know what gave you away whenever I first saw you?
I don't.
The hair.
Why?
Same with Alice. Crew cut. Dignified. It was militant, but not of the military. Alice's was more, the bun was much more military style. Then it was the way you walked. You walked with purpose, but you had a bit of individuality to you, so you weren't federal. You were local. In your eyes, that's what caught me. You don't look too old, but they were shifting everywhere. Now, usually a lot of the cops that I've met around your age are much more confident and happy with the trigger. I could tell that something caught you.
Yeah, I'm not a cop anymore, Doc. Appreciate it. But that's not what I am.
And I think you've been trying to figure out what to do with that, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're going to see next. But I do know that I'm probably going to do bad things. And they might be for the right reasons. But I've got to figure out how to sort this, Doc, because I'm running out of places to put things.
Just trying to think, there aren't many places to sort a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's pretty damn impressive we've made it this far. It wasn't until we were down there underneath the houses in the cave systems. That was the first time something snapped in me. Even the runes didn't get to me like that. It was something about you and Sal, that distance from me, and if I couldn't clear it, you would have been drawn in. That's what got to me.
I'm going to squeeze your shoulder and kind of make you look at me. I want you to listen to this. The only way I make it through this is if you're there too. So I need you to take care of yourself. Because I'm not going to make it if you don't. And I can only cover so much. So you have got to be careful, Doc. And if you're not going to be careful for you, then you need to be careful for me.
James, do you think you're making it out of this?
I stand up, throw a couple bills on the bar, and kind of walk behind you, and then I stop myself before I leave, and I look at you and I go, well, you know where to find me. I'll catch up with you later. And I walk out.
Okay. Bartender comes over and picks up the bills and looks at you, Doc, and says, "Need anything else?"
I'm still a bit new to the area. Do you know any good comic book stores?
Yeah, you can find some of them at the newsstand down end of the block.
We may not be back in town for a while, but promise I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, do that. He's a good guy.
I know. That's why he needs an eye on him.
Yeah. And I think with that, we'll cut back to Alice. Got everything sorted out the way you want it.
Yeah, Alice has cleaned the house top to bottom. She's gotten all her army gear out, got it everything sorted. She's packed, and this time when she headed over to Savannah for Janet, she hadn't been expecting this type of travel this long, but this time she's packing for going on a mission, as she has in the past. And she's got her army duffel bag and she's packed that. And this time she's got, when she left, she took some supplies. So she's putting all that in there and getting it. And while going through the closet, she comes across a clothes bag, and that she pauses for a moment and just fondles it. And it's the shape of a, that you'd use for a long coat or perhaps a very expensive dress. And I think that she touches the zipper, but she doesn't open it. And then she closes everything and she heads out to a nearby church, Protestant church in the neighborhood where her friend, her friend and former colleague and army buddy, chaplain Leslie, Leslie Groves, where he's set up shop as a pastor.
Is he? So he's ex-military at this point.
He's
as well?
ex-military. He left before she did.
Okay.
And I think he's kind of the reason she never really had. Her parents moved a lot about. Her sister's in Chicago, but he's actually the reason that she decided to. He's the one to convince her to also leave the army, and then she was like, okay, well then if I'm going to settle down anywhere, I may as well settle down in Chicago near where you are. So she heads over there to see him. She hasn't seen him in a while.
Absolutely. He's there. He's probably, in back at his desk working on some stuff since, a Wednesday lunchtime is not the busiest time at the church, but he's happy to, he comes out. He's happy to see you. Alice.
Hey, Leslie.
Wow. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. It's been went on a bit of an unexpected trip, but got back here to do some packing, and I thought, well, do you want to go out for lunch?
Kind of looks around at the empty church and says, I think I can manage that.
Okay.
And as you're, walking to, there's probably a nearby deli or something that you guys go to. And you can tell from the kind of looks he's giving you occasionally that he knows something's wrong, but he's going to let you come to it in your own time.
So how's things been these past couple of weeks?
Much the same. Everyone comes in and says and does all the right things on Sunday and goes back to sinning the rest of the week. But, I'm not, my job is not to change the world. Just doing what I can here.
Yeah. And Alice is normally a bit more talkative, but every time she wants to start a conversation, she's kind of at a loss for words. So she's just like, let's have lunch. She just didn't want to be in the house anymore. So
okay. And lunch is good. This is a place you've been to before, and there's no real issues there. At one point, probably about halfway through the meal, he says, so was there something you wanted to talk about?
Talking's not going to change it. So
no, but sometimes it helps.
I'm probably going to be gone for a while again.
Okay.
So this got a new gig. You said going private, will be boring, calming. Well, hasn't been so far, but it's.
Well, I mean,
You
it's
ever
got to
been
be.
to Thailand?
No, I can't say that I have.
Yeah, so.
I mean, I was about to say it's got to be better than Venezuela, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Venezuela. Well, I spent the last couple of weeks a couple of times missing Venezuela, actually. So, yeah. But
Well,
it's no, with she looks up at him, and there's now she's gotten calmer, and she says, "Well, I think I found a purpose. I've got a mission now. I think that private wasn't really well. Yeah, so got something to do. Got a crew to take care of. They'll help. And
okay. I mean, I don't want to pressure you. I'm not going to pry into anything, but I mean, if you found something that you think is important for you to do, then you feel good about it. That's great. But
yeah, I think it's gonna get ugly, but we've done ugly.
Well, just remember, you can stop if you need to stop.
No, there's no stopping this time. I have to see this through. James.
And he again gets that look on his face like he really wants to respond to that, but I think he knows you better than to try and talk you out of it when you're set on something like this. So he just kind of nods his head and says, "Okay."
It's good knowing you're here, Leslie. So you take care, and I was always thanks for what you did after Nice.
Of course.
That really helped. But it's and then she kind of gathers herself again and says, as you said, it'll all turn out right in the end. I know you say God has a plan. I think I've seen it now, and you're right. It will turn out right. I will make it right.
He looks a little surprised at that. I mean, is Alice
no
particularly religious?
Alice is not religious at all.
Okay.
So and she kind of looks around and then pays for lunch and says, "Thanks, Leslie. It's always good speaking with you, seeing with you. So
if there's anything you need, I'm here."
I know, and well, if anything ever, if I don't make it back, well, you know what to do with my stuff. It's rather you have it than Janice, but it won't. I will be fine. It will, but just in case. So, thanks.
Be careful.
Thanks. And Alice is going to get up, and she is purposefully heading to a very large bookstore.
All right. Sounds good. I think that's probably a good place for us to take a 10-minute break, give everybody a little emotional rest after some intensive sessions. Alice does get 2 points of stability back from interacting with her solace for a while.
Okay. Be back in 10.
Yeah.
right. Well, I think it is time for us to see what is going on with Sal after he's had confession, feels a little bit, hopefully, a little bit better about things. What is his next destination?
Sal has to stop by home first,
Sure.
and he goes to a small safe that he's got behind a picture, and opens it up, and just kind of it's pretty much empty. I mean, it's kind of a bear contrast to what you think a mobster would have. But he's almost hesitant to reach in there. He takes a second to kind of steel himself, takes a single envelope out of there, shuts it, and then walks away. He drives to Tony's house,
Okay.
and he needs to meet with Tony before he goes sees Bianca.
Okay. So Tony is pretty highly placed in the establishment. So, he's got some guys hanging around out front, but they see Sal, they know Sal. So it doesn't take long before you're brought inside to where Tony's in. He's got in a lot of mob movies, it's the big fancy room with the big heavy desk and that kind of thing. His is much more humble than that. It's a pretty plain wooden desk with some filing cabinets. He's there in his shirt sleeves, but he does have the air about him of somebody who has authority and isn't afraid to use it. But he's he's glad to see you. He stands up, big hug, both cheeks, the usual thing.
Tony!
Yeah, how you been doing, Sal? I haven't heard from you in a while.
Well, I've been doing this job for Nitty, and it's a weird one, man. Can't stay long, but I wanted to drop something off to you.
Yeah, sure. What do you need?
Says I'm gonna go out of town for a while.
Okay.
Not sure I'm gonna make it back.
Oh, come on! Don't talk like that. You've been through worse.
The last 5 weeks has just shown to me that we're all mortal. For as much bravo and bluster and we're all mortal. Says this guys that we're dealing with don't play by rules. They've already visited Bianca.
The fuck they have.
Yeah.
You need some people. I mean, are you good with this? You got what you need?
Just watch out for her, please. I mean, she's a smart girl. I mean, she's sharp. But Tony, I think probably for the second time in my life, I'm scared.
You got it. I'll have a guy swing by maybe a couple times a day, just see how everything is. You want me to station somebody there? I mean, what are we talking?
No, if you would just kind of check in on occasion. I don't want it to make it all too oppressive. But she needs a space. She's gonna need her space. And if I'm not back in 3 months, give this to her. And he hands him the envelope.
Okay. He sort of glances at it just to see if there's anything written on it, and then he actually you see him. He has a safe himself that he kind of opens up and puts it in. He says, "You got it. Anything particular I should be looking for?"
A few weeks ago, it was a grubby looking scratchy individual from what Bianca said. But man, I don't know. This all types. It just yeah. The guys will know it when they see it.
All right.
All right.
You take care of yourself, man.
You too, Tony.
All right. Another big hug.
Yep. Then he drives to Bianca's house. Actually,
Okay.
he's got one stop to make before that.
Okay.
Florist.
Sure.
Yeah. So he'll stop and pick up flowers. Probably 3 or 4 dozen roses.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got some
You got some splaining to do?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I thought you said forest. I was so concerned. Just like, what's in the
I got to
forest
dig up a
now?
body. It'll be fine.
No, florist. Um,
Gotcha.
and then he's gonna go to her house and then knock on
Okay.
the door.
Okay. Um, she opens the door, and there's just a moment as she's opened the door where she's got sort of that suspicious look, like, who is it going to be this time? And then she sees that it's you, and she's just like, "Oh my god!" And like tries to find a way to hug you around all the flowers, and she's like, come inside, put these down." And she, kind of picks the flowers up and just sticks them all on a table and just sort of flings herself on you.
How you doing, doll?
Oh my god, it's been forever. Where have you been?
Well,
What happened to your face? What's this?
it's just a fight, bar fight. I know,
Salvatore.
I know. I'll do better. Okay, I'll do better.
Yeah, you always you'll do better. Just come in, sit down. God, you want a drink or something?
Yeah. There you go, scotch.
Yeah. And she kind of, bustles around in the kitchen, making some stuff. And it's like, I wish you told me you were coming. The place is a mess.
You should see my place.
But she comes back with a couple of glasses of scotch and, puts the bottle on the table as well. She says, "Oh, so tell me what's all been happening? What's all this traveling about?"
They said I'm doing a job for Nitty, helping some dame he knows. He
Mhm.
needed muscle and yep. So anyway, um, went down to Mexico. Uh,
Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't. It's I worry about you. It's been a month and a half. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
nothing. Yeah, you're in California. You're in Mexico. You're in Vegas. It's just
I'm a
you
world
you you
traveler.
you you, you got people coming around. You send me this book. Somebody else sends me a book. I don't know what's even going on.
So tell me about the guy that showed up here the other day.
Ugh, that guy. I don't know. He looked like, I mean, he looked like a bum. He looked like somebody who was living on the street, smelled like it, his face full of snot. His hair was undone. He hadn't had a bath in forever. You could tell, and he comes up to the door, knocks on the door, and he first said, he looks at me and he has this book, and it's nasty, it's old and it's wet and there's paper sticking out of it all over the place. And he says, this is for Sal. He says, "Is he here?" And I say, "No, he's not here." "And who the hell are you?" And so he starts giving me the thing. He's like, "Well, I need to get him this book. It's important that he has it." It's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, let me get a towel or something and I'll take it." And he's like, "No, I can't just give it to you." And I'm like, "Well, then what the hell do you want from me? I don't know what he's talking about." So, first he asked me, "Hey, well, give me a kiss for it." And I'm like, "The hell I'm gonna." And so, eventually he's just like, "Take it. He'll be angry if I don't give it to you. Just take it." And he just about throws it at me. And so I put it in the bathroom sink. I didn't even want to touch it. But and then when I heard from you, I went and put it in your office, like you said. But it's just, I don't know. I thought he was crazy at first, but he knew your name, and you sent me that other book, and I just
Mhm.
didn't, I figured it was something. So, I mean, if I can get rid of it, I'm happy to get rid of it, but
Oh yeah, I'll take it from you.
okay.
So yeah, you don't need to worry about that doll.
All right.
Says, well, unfortunately, I've got to go out of country again. I
And
know, I
her
know,
face
I
just
know,
falls. It's like, you just got back.
I know. I'll make it up to you. I'm good for it.
You make it up to me. When is that? Next month? Next year? When are you going to come home? I was
Should be
thinking we might go out
next
to
month.
the
I should be
movies
about
this weekend,
next
but
this
no, you got to go somewhere else.
It should be a quick trip there and back. No big deal.
Yeah, that's what you said last time. You said you were going out to New York for the weekend. Now it's 6 weeks later.
Well, yeah, you do have. I give you that point. Well, it says couple weeks. I'll be back, and we'll go somewhere nice.
How many weeks? She says, and she literally goes over to where she has a wall calendar and she pulls out a red pen and she stands next to the calendar. It says, when are you going to be back?
3 weeks.
Okay. She circles August 21st. Sal back, she writes in angry big letters.
Yeah, I know. I got this coming.
Yeah, you do.
Says, how you feel about Rome?
I mean, I don't know. I've never been. I don't speak Italian.
Well, you had luck because I do.
So is that where you're going now? For this Dame Finity?
No, it's somewhere in North Africa, Morocco, Nigeria. You know how I am with states.
What's he
and
got
places.
doing there?
I don't know. That's where this thing goes. You got to take care of some business there for, and then hopefully be done of it. Sorry. And I know I should be here, and I'm sorry for that.
I worry about you. I mean, you come in, you get, you come back, you get hurt. You got weird people coming to give you stuff. I worry.
Don't worry, doll. You know me.
Yeah, that's why I worry.
He smiles and takes a drink of his scotch and says, "So, book. What?
Yeah,
Give me."
she says.
Yeah, let me see this.
And she kind of leads you back to the little, office area that you use occasionally when you're here. And there's two things. I mean, there is the package that you sent with the book from Los Angeles. That is like, I mean, clearly it's been opened enough to see what's in it and then just kind of reclosed and set off to the side. And then in the middle of the desk is this big old bath towel, just wrapped around this book. And you can see from here, I mean, and honestly you can smell when you get into the room that the whole thing has that sort of watery kind of moldy smell to it. And you can see that like the blotter on the desk underneath it is soaked. Oh God, it's getting worse.
It does smell bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tell you what, let's go get some lunch. I'm starved.
Okay. She goes over, opens the window to let the room air out a little bit, closes the door, and goes with you to lunch.
Okay. After lunch and after we do, spend some time with her. That evening before I leave, before Sal leaves, he's going to pull her aside and says, I'm really sorry about that guy showing up. It's been weighing on me. Says, I don't like when people get drug into my business. It's
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Anyway, he says as he kind of reaches into his waistband and pulls out the little 38 and says, kind of offers it to her.
And she gets very serious. You can immediately see in her face. It's like, what is this? I mean, I know what it is. What you think I need this? You think he's going to come back?
Sal takes a second and thinks and says, I hope not, but if he does, wait till he gets close, point this end into him, pull the trigger as fast as you can and get the fuck out of there.
And she doesn't, for possibly the first time since you met her, she doesn't say anything. She just kind of nods.
Go to Tony's.
Okay.
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 But I'll be back in 3 weeks.
She just kind of points at the calendar on the wall and says, "You better, mister."
And all right, too.
Okay. You do that.
Okay. I love you, doll.
I love you too, baby.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too.
He kind
I'll be fine.
of leans in
Mm-hmm.
and puts his head against hers,
Mm-hmm.
and he holds it there for a few moments. Then he draws back, kisses her on the forehead again, and then says, "I'll be back soon," and offers her a big smile.
Okay, she says. And you think she's not quite crying, but she's like thinking about it, and she's still in the pain. Just be careful, okay?
Oh, you know me, always careful.
Sure. All right. So you're taking the wet book.
Yep.
Okay.
Taking the wet book,
Mhm.
and as he goes down the stairs and he waves to her, and
Mhm.
then as he gets into the car,
Mhm.
that friendly facade just falls away,
Yeah.
and he drives off.
All right. I believe James had something he wanted to take care of while we're in town.
Yeah. I'm imagining it's like 4 hours since I left the bar.
Mhm.
Different part of Chicago. City bus pulls up and I come out of it. I am in different clothes than I was at the bar.
Mhm.
You can tell by my hair that I've showered since the bar. And I've got a pretty thick uh, courier envelope under my arm.
Mhm.
And it's mid-afternoon, and I walk up to a brownstone, knowing that Steve's at work, which
Mhm.
means Dorothy's going to be home by herself.
Mhm.
She's my ex-wife. She's remarried since. And I go up and knock on the door.
Okay. There's a short delay, and then the door opens, and she's surprised to see you, James.
Hey, sorry. I thought about calling you, but and I know, uh, and I'm just fumbling, right? You can just,
Mhm.
look, and I'm
She says,
handing
"Do you
her.
want to come in?"
No, I can't come in. I can't come in, Dorothy. But look, I'm handing her the envelope.
Okay. She sort of turns it over. Says, "What's this?"
It's everything, Dorothy. It's the pension. It's my 2 accounts. It's the place I have up in Wisconsin. Um, I've put a lot of stuff. I've added your name to a lot of stuff, and I I'm not here to talk about it. I'm not here
Are you
to.
sick?
No, Dorothy, I need you to take the envelope, and then I might be back for it. But I need you to hold this, and it's just I've got everything in there. And oh, it's late. Yeah, I got to get going.
What's going on?
Um, I'm really sorry. Um, I'm glad you're happy. Um, you deserved it. You deserved this. You didn't deserve me, and I didn't deserve you. You deserved much more.
You're not going to do something stupid, are you?
No, shit. I'm gonna miss the bus. Uh, and I'm gonna touch her arm, very tender, but I'm also being very respectful of boundaries too, right?
Mhm.
I just go, I'm sorry, and then I'm gonna turn around and walk away.
Okay. She is obviously extremely perplexed by the whole thing, but she kind of takes the envelope and shuts the door. Alice, was there anything else you wanted to do before we get the band back together?
Alice has just been doing some shopping, so
Okay.
don't have to.
Yep. Quick shopping montage, restock all your
Yeah,
supplies. And...
she's stocked up on supplies and certain other things, and is just getting everything ready for when we agreed we'd meet up again.
Okay. Sounds good. And Adrian, sounds like you were finishing up a report for Janet.
Yeah, as best as he can, trying to figure out how to explain everything, explaining that we are again going across a few oceans this time. Um, th- just it may take 2 telegrams. He kind of splits it off into 2. Just tries to keep the first one pretty like formal, like this is what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
The second one's much more like talking like Janie, just like childhood
Right.
friend. I don't know what's going on. I am not feeling great about it, but we're still going. Um, so much less formal than the first one.
Right. So are you, not that you have a lot of space on a telegram, but are you at any point talking about the weird supernatural elements of things, or just that you're still pursuing these people?
That yeah, he would hint at it in the first one, just be like it seems like there's something a bit more occult going on, and then in the second
Mm-hmm.
one, just be like, okay, listen, there are mouths that shouldn't be there.
The person
Jamie,
at
I
the
know that I've
telegram
told.
office is just kind of writes it down.
He considers just sending this one off as a letter to be sent by post.
That might be better.
Yeah. I forgot that he can't work the telegram himself.
Right.
I
It's
was
not
like,
the Old West.
he's gonna send that one first. Say that he's gonna send a letter by post, and in that letter
Okay.
it just says, "Listen, there are mouths that shouldn't be there. I know I've told you some weird stories in my time, Janie. I know that I said some weird things when I was 5. Trust me, this is worse. We're going to Bangkok. Apparently, there's something with ziggurats there. Like, okay, this is going ancient. It's fully just like 2 childhood friends. One of them just like needing to get everything off their chest and not holding back.
Wow. Okay.
If you receive any books, don't read them.
Wow. Okay.
Listen, Janie, I can't make this make sense. If it made sense for me, I'd let you know. Love you. Please stay
Okay.
sane. The final part is please stay sane.
Right.
Signed, Adrian Fisher.
Okay, great. That'll certainly make her feel better about things.
Everything's still good.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So anything else we need to deal with in town while before we get everybody back together and make some plans?
Um, Besides doing just check-ins on people that he knows, making sure that like talking to some contemporaries, making sure that they have if they've taken any of his patients, make sure that they're
Mm-hmm.
doing okay before he heads back out. Just tells him a bit longer that they may need to be taking his patients for. Um, Adrian will probably go and figure out where James is. Doesn't know what floor he's on, so has to kind of like figure that out a bit.
I mean,
But
there's names on the mailbox, so
I for some reason I felt like James was the type of person who would never put his name on the like call signs,
okay,
like on
fair
the
enough.
little like it's like it was really like they just come up so hopeful. Just yeah, I really should have guessed that.
Well, probably
Um,
you find the one that doesn't have a name on it then.
Exactly.
mhm. There's like 2 of them, and they like have to really flip a coin, make sure they don't get someone they don't know and don't want to knock on the door
Mm-hmm.
of.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a few of those noir novels in hand, those pulp novels. Um, and they find the door.
And yeah, I open it, and you can see the small living room behind me. I've got like 3 bags, kind of set up and packed, and I I thought we weren't meeting till tonight, right?
Thank God that was your door.
Why like
Uh,
you keep Are you following me?
Oh yeah, I'm stalking you. I haven't left my sites for the past 5 hours. No, I just know where you live because we dropped you off, James.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not ready yet.
No, no, this isn't that.
Okay.
Can I come in?
Uh, yeah, yeah, sure.
It definitely goes a bit into detective and therapist mode immediately, just trying to like analyze your rooms. But tries their hardest to just lock in and not do that out of respect. It's just holds up one of the books. I don't know if I ever got too into these. I had a bit of a different taste, but I see that you quite like these, so thought I'd grab you one more before we left. Something to distract you on the plane.
I Oh fuck, we gotta fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. That this stuff rots your brain, and I take it from you, and move it to one of my suitcases.
Sometimes you just need something to rot your brain a bit. I mean, my favorite book at the moment is do you know H.G. Wells?
Can't say I do. Sorry.
Probably best for you that we wait on those ones. A lot of more speculative science.
Yeah, not a big reader, Doc.
Mm. All right. I don't know if me being they pause and they go through their wallet. They take out um of a very neatly folded piece of paper that is completely pristine besides a single smudge from water on the corner. I don't know if it would help you if I was vulnerable and you don't really if you don't want to hear it, that's fine. But I waited too long to reach out to people before, and I know I don't have the right words to help now. I don't think there are any right words for this, but James, I don't want to treat you like I'm talking to a dead man. I've already had to do that.
I shift and walk away from you for a second. Um, you're you're not. You're not. Um, I'll. We got stuff to do, Doc, and we're gonna do it. And the four of us are gonna go, and the four of us are coming back. So you're not. You're not. Um, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to make you think that. That's that was not what I meant.
I know. They seem to kind of forget where they are for a bit and just sort of are just look at the sketch for a while. They're very clearly out of it.
You okay, Doc?
No, but unfortunately, whenever you get so used to knowing what words to use to help other people, they don't really help you as much. Self-awareness kind of kicks you for that. But I promise you, I will be fine. I've spent enough time in my own head to know how to work it.
I meant what I said in the bar, Doc. You have to be okay. I don't know how you get there, but and I don't think I'm just speaking for me here.
Well, maybe all of you just need to give yourself more credit.
We got it. It's gonna be all right. I'm trying to convince myself as much as you.
Holds up the sketch. If James wants to look at it, he doesn't have to. It's
No,
just
I
there.
do.
The sketch you see, it's of a very ornate Gothic style window, with a desk and a kind of like it looks like a bit of a vignette of a scene books sprawled out all over the desk. A bit of it looks like snow falling outside the it's a very beautiful, detailed sketch. And if you turn it around, you'll see that there's a bit of a note on it. And it says, "I'm sorry, Adrian. I lost my reason. It's not your fault. Whatever you do, find a reason to keep going. If they take it from you, make a new one. He was the only one I had."
Yeah, I take it and I read it. And I look up to you, and in my own way, try to give you a real clear indication on my face that I understand. And I was kind of reckless with the book that you gave me. I kind of put it over in my suitcase, and I think what I do here is I pull out. I've got one of those long jacket men's wallets, billfold type style, and I pull it out and I open it, and you just see with just incredible care, I fold it back up and I
Nope,
put it in.
please. I'm sorry, I can't go without it.
Oh,
I just want to show you.
no. Oh God, I misread things. I'm sorry. No, and I hand it back. Um, thank you. As I hand it back to you.
I don't like talking about myself a lot. I showed you just so I can make sure you know damn well. I don't plan on giving up. I've already had enough taken from me and seen enough taken from other people. I'm far too angry to lose myself over some stupid fucking mouths.
I'm gonna look at you steel-eyed. And now I'm not convincing myself. We got this. It's all right. We got it.
Just gotta make a plane ride first, don't you?
Yeah. I think Sal said he's gonna come by and scoop me here in a couple hours. I mean, you're welcome to stay. I'm just but where's your do you gotta go back to the house?
James, I mean this with just much care as I can put. Being in here feels like it felt whenever I was in a psychiatric ward working with patients. Really, just like a bit of a accoutrements, like just a little clock in the corner or something like that. Just I don't do good with clinical spaces unless it's for work.
Yeah. I'll go shopping when we get back.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Oh, okay. See you in a couple hours.
See you in a couple. If you need to find me, just quickly write down their address because you realizes they were dropped off after you. Here you go. Just really like a bit of a, I'll go.
I think and if I need to, I might physically stop you and just one more time look at you and go, thanks.
Always.
All right. Well, a few hours go by, and I think the group reconvenes. I imagine somebody has connections at a local restaurant in the area that has a back room you can use. I feel like Sal, if nothing else, probably knows a place where you will not be disturbed.
The linguini's great.
Also true. So let's get you guys in here, get some nice bread, a little bit of vino going on, and see what some plans are.
How's your girl?
She shook it up. She's shaking up pretty good. She'll get to it though. She's tough.
You I assume that you got coverage there.
Yep, taken care of.
Okay.
Oh, Doc, This is for you. Stinky moldy books aren't my thing.
Oh, sweet. They look much less concerned whenever it's a stinky moldy book. They're just like, oh, it's a book. Sweet.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yes, exactly.
I told you.
you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me shit, Sal.
I said
Turn it-
stinky. I mean,
You didn't say that. You just thought it.
you should smell my office.
No.
Yeah. It probably occurs to you probably don't want to start looking at this thing when you're trying to have dinner. So maybe put that aside for later. Up to you.
Sal, I've got to say, you are a miracle with your timing.
Thanks, Doc. I think.
And
Great.
Sal,
Go ahead.
when all is said and done, we do really need to meet Bianca. Just in general, she seems like a delight.
She's a good gal.
Yeah, we'll do that when we get back.
Yep.
Start handing everybody plane tickets.
So let's talk about that.
Uh-oh.
So at the Siam is ridiculously far away. Travel across the Pacific at this point is there's not nearly as much as there is across the Atlantic. I did a little research. You can get a chain of flights from LA to Honolulu to Midway to Wake to Guam to Hong Kong to Bangkok. It's about 10,000 miles, and it's thousands of dollars per person in the 1930s.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing we're taking a steamer.
Certainly a possibility. The
Gotcha.
other thing that you might want to consider, and I'm good with whatever you guys want to do, is a lot of stuff that is going to that part of the country actually goes from Europe down through the Suez Canal. Distance-wise, it's probably about the same.
Mhm.
And if you wanted to go to Malta or any of the other destinations, you could do it along the way. I'm not, pressuring you guys to go anywhere in particular, but just something to consider is that the Pacific is a huge, wide chunk of nothing.
I think I can imagine this is actually something we're talking about over dinner.
Yeah, and
You
I
know,
imagine Alice strikes me as
Yeah.
the one who is probably the travel
Yeah.
consultant.
Yeah, so Alice has been doing some shopping and she was looking into this and she's just laying out the options on the table. And she says, well, I never got sent to Asia. It's everything I heard from those who did says it's a bit like the pits, but I don't know if it makes sense to do that crossing that way. I think the guys that I used to know when they went to Yale, they usually went over the Middle East. So
Now, how long are we talking about?
we're going to be away for a couple of weeks. I mean, it's
More than 3 weeks?
yeah, probably, unless
Yeah.
Why is there a birthday in that time, Sal? Or
No, you're looking at a dead man. You are looking at a dead man.
what did
Oh,
you
Sal.
tell Bianca you'd be back in 3?
I did.
Did you
I mean,
forget
I'm
where
not-
Bangkok is?
I'm not good with these places thingies. I know Chicago. Okay? I know where Forest Park is.
Yeah.
Ah,
Perhaps
Oh, boy.
I'd say
Also,
let her
writing
know
obituaries.
that another 3 we should be. I think we can make it back in 6. We take
Sure
care
about
of
that?
everything. Yeah.
I'm going to say 8 just to cover my bases.
Yeah. I'd say 8. We'll definitely be back in 8, and perhaps send something nice with that note when you let her know. Is she a
It's going to
chocolate
have to
lady?
be diamonds. Going to have to be diamonds.
Well, I mean, that I've heard they've got diamonds in and I don't know, all kinds of gems and emeralds and stuff. So you'll bring back something really nice. So, but I think the quickest crossing is if we cross the Atlantic, go over London, and then we go from London through the Mediterranean. I've done that a couple of times. It's the quickest. There's the best options, and then we can, yeah. But most of the trade routes are over Europe, and then I think the question is, do we stop on Malta on the way there or on the way back? I feel that we need to get to Bangkok first. I think we've got
I
all
do
the
too.
information. Yeah. Unless, and she kind of indicates towards the smelly book, unless that, whatever's in there gives us some other reasons, I think it makes sense to go to Bangkok.
Are you wanting me to take a look now?
No,
Don't open it now. Oh no,
not now. We
I'm
haven't
trying to
even
eat
had
here.
dessert yet. I mean, this is really Sal. You do
Listen,
know the
we
best
are
Italian places.
listen. From my professional standpoint, I've come to see that you all are very gung ho people, and I was honestly expecting that maybe you would not let me get to dessert.
Well, let's have dessert first. They've got cannoli. Yeah, of course they'll have cannoli. Yeah, okay.
Of course they do.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Well, though, quick question before we move on to dessert. And Adrian would have
Yeah.
checked in on Helen and Nikki especially. Did anyone else get any packages delivered to people they care about? Your sister got one. Oh no, your sister was
No, sister was just having nightmares.
Yeah.
Alice
Yeah.
goes very quiet.
Alice?
No packages. No packages, but I got a message. And I think we're on the right track. I think we're on the right track to Bangkok. Look around at everybody. And as long as we stick together, the four of us will make it. We've got our backs, got each other's backs. We'll look out for each other.
And we're all gonna make it home.
We're all going to make it home.
Sal lifts his wine glass.
All the way
Together.
around.
All right. So, if I'm hearing correctly, the plan is to basically take a steamer across the Atlantic, go through the Mediterranean, down the Red Sea to Bangkok. No planned stops along the way. Okay.
Unless the book tells us anything different.
Right.
Unless the book,
Sure.
or something happens on the way.
Well, sure, obviously, but that is the intent.
Yes.
Indeed.
So let's talk about the book. So I'm assuming after dinner, at least Doc goes. I don't know if anybody else is coming with to check this thing out.
Yeah,
Or if
just
we'll
from
rather
a.
leave it alone.
I'd rather have somebody in the room with me whenever I open
No,
this.
no, I'll be in the
very
room, but
exciting
kind of
book. Yeah.
standing at your shoulder, not
Maybe
touching
get
it.
a bit of a mask or something, a bit of a scarf.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So Doc, you take this thing to your home or office.
Oh,
home.
I imagine we're
Okay.
still staying in the restaurant together.
Oh, the restaurant?
Okay, just do it at the restaurant, Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You're gonna think that we let a dead skunk in here.
That's
I'm
true.
sure they've seen worse.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tip well for this. But
we can just go back to my home. We do not need to do this in a public setting.
I would
No, yeah.
honestly prefer going back to your house because my name's Mud anyway.
It's
I'd
a
like to
small
at least
place, but
have
we can fit. We
someplace
can
to eat
fit.
in the dog houses.
It's small, but I think we can fit.
all right. So
So
you
at my
guys,
house, not in the not in the
right?
restaurant.
Noted. Okay. Yeah. So you sort of unfold this thing from the blanket, and I mean it's been here from what Bianca was saying, like a week, 10 days, and it's still damp. It's still wet, like it was just pulled out of a cistern or something.
It still has a circulatory system. That's fun.
Ugh, yeah.
Adrian does say that.
Mm-hmm. And so, with probably some hesitation, you open it up and start flipping through. And what this looks like is kind of a scrapbook of horrible, disgusting, depraved, violent activity. It's got everything from like old medieval woodcuts to snippets of diaries to old newspaper articles, to some early photographs like daguerreotypes and stuff. And it's just torture and mutilation and sexual depravity of various extremely unpleasant natures. It looks like it's just a collection of the most horrific cult activity you can imagine. So I mean, it doesn't look like there's any sort of consistent storyline or meaning to it. It's just kind of like this chronological collection of depravity. You could probably look through it in a little more detail to find if there was something useful, but you are pretty sure that would not be good for your mental health. So that's a decision, any of you can make as you choose.
I am nowhere near looking at this thing, by the way.
Yeah. Book opens up. James is like, nope.
Yep. Not enough pictures.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's too many pictures.
Too many pictures. Well, I think Adrian would have motioned for y'all to kind of step away just a bit before you even opened it.
Mm-hmm.
And upon seeing those pages, just motioned for you to step back even further. He's the only one who can see what's on these.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alice.
That would be preferable, Sal.
Sorry,
Alice,
Naomi, what were you saying?
Alice kind of walks up to you and glances over your shoulder, and then kind of walks away and walking around the room, and then every now and then coming back and having a glance over your shoulder, and then she's looking through your room, and she calls out and says, Adrian, you got any of the hard stuff here?
Do you want to light this book on fire in my room?
Well, not in your room. Do you have a bin out back? I mean, unless
I do, but
and I walked back and I glanced down. I said, unless there's anything you think we can learn from this, yeah, I don't think
anything I would learn from it I would be able to convey to all of you. I don't think I'd have my sanity left. But they kind of like sit back on a theory side of it. Was it like, are the pages wet or is it just the
some of them are stuck together with various substances of an unclear nature.
Good Lord.
There's a lot of a lot of the pictures involve mouths biting and sucking and drooling, but yeah, there's a lot of fluids in this book.
All right. The book itself seems, I don't know, self-sufficient in a way.
It's a statement.
As if it's connected to its own circulatory system. So the question is whether, because I will say I do not intend to read much further, if the intention behind giving us this book was a threat or an offer.
I think it's a threat.
I think it doesn't matter whether it's a threat or an offer. It matters what we do with it.
You're right, Alice. Let's burn the goddamn thing.
And I'm going through your cupboards now, and I'm like, where's the turpentine? So.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get rid of it. It's just. You said it was chronological?
Roughly. I mean, it looks like the older stuff is near the beginning and the more recent stuff is later.
Let's go ahead and get rid of it, but I'm gonna keep thinking about why they gave this to you specifically, Sal.
I think they somehow figured out that, well, we send other stuff to Bianca. We won't be sending anything more. And I look towards Sal, and I know Sal's got somebody watching out for Bianca. Yeah.
Tony's got
So
covered.
whatever it is, we burn it, and they think they can bring it to us. We're bringing it to them.
What I can't quantify is, well, it could have just been him being gross. Did he think that whoever brought this book to Bianca, did he think there was some value behind this? About why he had to give it to us specifically? Why he had to ask for, kiss from Bianca? Just trying to figure out if he thinks there's any value to this book itself. It's terrible that I'm hoping that he wasn't just asking for a kiss from Bianca and that it was because of his weird cult maniacism, but
I would say, Sal, the one thing that maybe sticks in your head a little bit is that Bianca said, this guy said, he'll be angry if I don't give it to you. And you don't think that he was referring to you, Sal.
Yeah.
Someone else has put this guy up to it, apparently.
Look, guys, look. Someone's trying to scare us. Someone's trying to send messages. If you let me, Doc, I'm gonna rip the book out of your hands and slam it closed and say, and it's not gonna work. So we've already spent too much time thinking about it. We've spent way too much time talking about it. So let's burn the goddamn thing.
Too much time smelling it too.
Oh my god! And I think I have found like a small trash bin, like a bathroom size.
I think
trash bin.
Alice has already gotten a trash can out. She's standing ready. She's opened the back door to the little garden.
I slam it in there.
Okay.
What you're carrying, and I walk out with you.
I think Alice found, I don't know if I found booze or if I found some kind of cleaning alcohol or empty. I just dump it over there.
Sure. What do you think they found, Adrian?
They don't keep much alcohol in them. It would probably only be gin that they had. I don't know what proof you need from lighting.
It wants to be at least like a 150. You're talking like rum or something pretty.
I also don't know what proofs alcohol are.
Yeah, gin is probably not.
I probably should have led with that. Yeah, okay. Then it's a rubbing alcohol. Medical rubbing alcohol is what they like.
Yeah.
All right, so you dump that over the thing and light it on fire.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it the alcohol certainly catches fire immediately. The book takes a little longer, but it starts to, it starts to go. And once it gets to the paper inside, it kind of catches quickly. And all of a sudden, as it's probably, it's starting to get going good and strong. There is suddenly just kind of a thump, and this cloud of smoke just pours out of this little bucket. And is it just Alice and James out there?
I think so.
Yeah. I need each of you to roll me a d6.
That's always good.
That's probably fun.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. And that is how many points of poison damage you take from this hideous cloud of noxious vapors. It has some of the same smell as that weird orange liquid you kept finding traces of. But so it just this big pile of smoke goes ascending into the sky as you two kind of stagger back. And then,
is there anything special about poison damage, or is that just
it's just a flavor thing, really.
Okay.
Damage is damage.
I imagine as that happens, I just I'm coughing, and I just kind of grab James, pull you back into the house, close the door, and I'm just wheezing and trying to, I'm just like going through my training and like, okay, Cole, what to do, and
Adrian's immediately getting some water and putting on a rag for both of you to put on your mouths
yeah.
Yeah.
and get in your eyes, and just like pouring water in your eyes if you need.
So it takes about 15 minutes for the thing to burn out. After that initial gout, the smoke goes to a more normal level, and eventually you're just left with a bunch of ashes in that bucket. The bucket itself is probably ruined.
Yeah.
But the book is definitely gone.
I liked that bucket.
Now we get the stink out.
We'll get you a new bucket.
Better. So it's just going to keep happening. Every book that we have is either going to burst into green flames or catch noxious smoke.
I don't know. But next time, Sal, it's your turn to burn it. I'm just wiping my ears with tears. I'm like, jeez, I'm going to tasting that for.
Here, come sit, Alice. Come sit.
Okay, yeah. You got any chamomile?
Yep, if you'd like.
All right.
Lavender cream under the nose helps.
Yeah.
Okay, Sal.
Remember that the next time you're burning an ancient occult tome.
I really hate that that's useful knowledge for me now.
So, we get the plane tomorrow, plane to New York.
And then off you go. So I think we can go ahead, bring this session to a close, and we'll start with a little bit of a travel montage for next time and see what exciting things await you in Bangkok.
Cool. We'll roll credits and come back on the other side.
Right.
In a mansion grand where secrets lie, Walter Winston lived, but he had to die. His daughter Janet, fierce and bold, hired a team to find the stories untold. Oh, Walter Winston, Mr. Mystery Man, caught in a web of a sinister plan, with cults and crimes and shadows so dark. His story ignites like a match to a spark. Ex-cop, doc, gangster, nurse in the mix, unraveling truths in a dance of tricks. Swinging through secrets, meet the moon's gleam. They chase the whispers of a deadly dream.
With O'Brien Schoner.
But your stability goes back up as well all the
Yes.
way? Okay, yeah. So
okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, so I had to reset my sanity back down one.
Yeah, I shockingly have not lost any sanity. So.
Well, we'll soon fix that.
Yeah, we'll fix that.
Yeah.
Very quick.
So we're just doing a little bit of bookkeeping here. The characters, despite all the horrible things that happened here, have actually had enough rest in a comfortable environment that they're able to recover most of their things, except for a little bit of sanity loss, which is probably fine. So yeah, this was a nice little interlude. We got to see a little bit more of the people behind the chaos here. Let's start with Chris. Talk about some thoughts, stars, and wishes.
Honestly, I don't know where to begin with this. Just the whole session was just, I mean, one hit after another as far as stars goes. I know that something that Craig has said, part of James, really stuck out to me. You find places you put it, where you put it. I mean, I think that sums up this pretty well. I mean, this trip was us putting this stuff in its little places, and we're getting ready for round two. So I wishes. I'm enjoying it. I just, I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming ahead. And yeah, so I mean, kudos to all of you. It's just fantastic.
Excellent. Naomi, how about you?
Same. I think star is, well, 2 stars. First one is, of course, Sal and Bianca. I just and the circling the 3 weeks, and I just so love everything. I think for me, the star of this episode was Sal with Tony, with everything. I just love that. And then honorable mention was Adrian, who can't resist criticizing James's interior. I think after all, it's just like, you barge into his home and then you start criticizing his interior. So that was that's
You show him a picture, but you can't have it.
Yes. So I just
This
really
is a taste
that.
of the decor you could have if
Yeah.
you put me up into your house.
And I'd say wishes. I just love this little interlude, and I really look forward to whatever next unexpected curveball Brian's going to throw at us, and whether I'm really curious, are we going to make it to Bangkok or not? Because it's a long trip with a lot of stops, so who knows? So wishes for more unexpected surprises and developments.
I was just going to make it a nice, clean, simple journey. If you want complications, I can give you complications.
Perhaps that's the surprise. No complications. No complications.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe the complications we met were the friends we made along the way.
Right, exactly. How about you, Mac?
I had a specific thought while this session was going on at the beginning. Whenever this campaign first started, I got the vibe of, oh wow, James is gonna be the character that Brian really just lays it all on, just like with the mouth, with like the mouth nightmare at the right at the beginning of the thing. Oh, he's gonna be one that goes through everything. And then it's Alice. Just like it genuinely it's gonna be each of us at different points. But just wow, it just really Alice does not get a break since the ruins, and just the fact that they are still here is more than I could do. So yeah, it's hard to think of a star because I just loved that we got to see all the characters. Um, not exactly in their natural habitat, but just like trying to be in what was once their natural habitat after everything that's happened.
Yeah.
For sure. And how about wishes?
I'm very, very excited for Bangkok because I just can't wait for Adrian to do more detective work. It makes me so happy when that silly little guy just goes off on one of just I know all the clues everywhere. He really had to hone himself to not just immediately go to the library in Chicago and like, no, my friends need me, my friends need me, my friends need me.
Yeah. Craig, how about you?
Well, I got a question. First is pulling the GM screen aside. Was there any discussion about Alice's James with Naomi beforehand, or was that a surprise for you, Naomi?
No, I did that as a surprise. I hope it's okay. You seem like you've been, obviously we have plans if it was not working out, but no, that was a little bit of a surprise.
That was really, really cool and unexpected. And Naomi, you just roll with things. There's a reason that I want you on every game on this channel, and that's a perfect example of it. I'm also going to plug safety tools because there's a lot of serious shit that was covered during this episode, and the only reason we could do it is because we had safety tools in place, and that allows Brian to push us. It allows us to push each other, and just I just got done talking to Navi and Sean Drake this morning. We had a small discussion about it, and what we talked about is that it's the opposite of restricting the game. What it does is it allows you to play hard. And I think that's really what we did, all 5 of us, which I really liked. Star wise, yeah, everything I think was just incredible. I'm at a point now where I'm not surprised by us, which is cool. Thoughts. I talked to Brian about this a little bit during the break. This is my first long form Cthulhu game. And I've never had a chance to play a character who is affected by this. In other scenarios, by this time, we've closed things down, right? You know, we never see what happens when they go back to Chicago when you're playing, single one-off scenarios. So I really enjoy trying to navigate this as a player and try to understand where James is. And James went through a little bit of an arc today, because he was dead man walking until Adrian came back to the apartment. And now there's a steeliness in me right now that wasn't there before. And I did not see that coming. And I absolutely love that. I love that. The discovering your own characters as a player is just such a big part of this hobby. So that's it. Wishes is, I have literally no idea what's in Bangkok, and I'm super excited about that. So
Excellent.
I wish to get there.
Yeah,
I have theories.
Excellent. I love this opportunity to go back and sort of have that little breathing point along the way and see how the things you've gone through have kind of changed your home and the way you interact with it. I was saying in chat during the break, I love these characters so much, and they all feel completely real to me, and I love getting a chance to interact with them in a way other than threatening you or pointing a gun at you. So I'm just having so much fun with this campaign, and I'm so glad you guys are the ones that are on board with it.
Same.
Are we back in 2 weeks?
I think so. And the best way to always know that is making sure that you're following on all the socials. We're on Blue Sky and everywhere else. But this is part 1 of a 3-day run where once again happened here. So tomorrow is Shiver Gothic. And oh boy, don't want to miss that one. And if you're not caught up, you got time before tomorrow morning. And then we premiere on Monday night, Blade Runner. Which I'm really excited about. We have got a guest GM that's going to be a game runner in this case, and somebody who is very passionate about the setting and the world. And I cannot wait to dive in with such an incredible guide for this. So it's another free league game, which obviously we're a big fan of. So yeah, tomorrow is Shiver Gothic, and then you got to watch episode 1 of Blade Runner Monday night. But
sure.
Talk soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers all. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.